Welcome back to Wudang Way. We're still going through our tutorial series on the Back to Basics. We're in week 5, and this week is going to be focusing on pubu, or our drop stance, like we introduced in yesterday's video. If you haven't had a chance, take a moment right now to go back and review our mabu and our gombu stances, because we really want to make sure those are really clear, because now we're moving into a larger frame posture once again, working on flexibility and taking some of the notes from mabu and gombu, the horse stance and the bow stance in previous videos. For pubu, with this drop stance, it sounds exactly like what it is. We're going to be a lot lower, we're going to be a lot deeper, and we're going to be a lot wider than our other stances. So if our last week's video, Xiao, the cross stance, focuses on strength conditioning, then pubu, this stance, is going to focus more on flexibility and wide posture. Okay, so narrow, strong, wide, flexible. So let's break it down into the structure to get you into the posture, some things to watch out for, and things to get you in the correct position. First thing is we're just going to drop out right into mabu, so into our horse stance like we usually do. However you do it with your hands is fine. We're going to work on the legs. Okay, so from mabu, we're going to shift into gombu. And then to go back into pubu, some places will actually have just a small opening where you're like in a slanted stance. This is called like a tiger pouncing position, something like that, just like a low like this. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to drop all the way down to the ground. We have postures like snake creeping through the grass. And we have these kind of postures that we use to like go from this low position and push forward as close as you can to the ground. Now to switch to pubu, an easy way to do it to get the same spacing is we're going to open the back foot straight, hook this foot just a little, and then as you sit down, we're actually going to tilt the body to an angle to go over here. So if this is straight ahead, we're going to pivot and drop down. And hopefully what we want to do is get that hinge to where the hip is a little bit lower than the knee, but the knee is still open. We don't want to have the knee kind of cave in and fall down. Still in line with the foot. So we go back to those first videos and we talk about our posture. The knee is over the foot in that same direction. Okay? Left leg straight or your back leg straight. Body pretty much forward, maybe a little bit to the side. Okay? So we can do that on both sides. When we start from a high position, then we drop to gombu. Then we can pivot our body back to the straight. So if we're gombu here, we pivot over, and then we're going to drop, like if we just keep turning the body until we kind of drop down just a little bit. Okay, keeping this knee open, keeping the body off the knee, and keeping the body leaned forward. Okay, a few things that will happen when you do these stances on each side. First thing to be careful of when you get down to this position is people like to bring their heel off the ground because of the lack of flexibility. And what we want to do is make sure that's sunk down. If it helps to keep your back straight and your hands a little bit forward to counterbalance, then you can do that and kind of like drop your weight down. You'll feel it kind of sink into the hip, so your hips are lower than your knee. That's also really key. Okay, second thing is once you get this, it tends to be a lack of strength, so we kind of sink down to the leg and maybe hold the body or maybe hug the leg too close. So the second thing we do is just make sure that we have the body off of this leg. So you can push off of this in a couple different ways. The first one, just holding the knee and kind of leaning over and as a stretch. But also what we can do is we can reach down and hold the foot, so we can actually grab the toes. When we get in this position, you'll find that your elbow is right against your leg. You can use that to kind of flex and push the knee out. So again, you can push the knee here with the hand, or you can push the knee here with the elbow, which is going to be a little better. Second thing is to stretch forward. We can put the hand here and just again from knees, or we can do from ankles, from 1 and from 2. And we can stretch here, pushing back and leaning forward. Okay, we can do that on both sides just by coming up, hooking this foot back in, dropping the butt down, and leaning forward. Okay, the last thing that's going to happen is sometimes this foot likes to come up. The ankle flexibility takes a little bit longer to get. So if you can reach forward to get the foot, if not, work on it here is fine. But if you can reach forward to get the foot, you can just press that down and pull from the edge. Okay, then you have your low posture. The last thing is sometimes if this one, it's very hard to reach and your foot's coming up, what you can also do is you can put your foot up against a wall where you can hook it into a wall, and then you can walk away from the wall and hook down. Turning the body as you go and stretching forward. Okay? And from here, we're just going to turn the body back into gombu and to press to stand back up. So that's going to wrap up the how-to on how to get in the pubu position. Remember, first, looking for the heel flat on the ground. Second, looking for the body off of the upper leg, and third, reaching towards that straight leg ankle and stretching the body over. Take this one really slow. Make sure you're using anything you have. If you use a wall or a ledge to put your foot up against, If you're just working on squatting, you can hold a chair if it takes a little bit to get down in that position. And again, go back to your mabu and gombu a lot, because that hip hinge in the squatting position is really important for getting down in this position. A lot of times we make the mistake of thinking that pubu is only flexibility, whereas a lot of it relies on strength. So you do want to make sure you're spending some time to work the hips, getting into these low position squats, these drop positions, and working on mobility there. Next couple videos we'll get into some drilling that you can do to repeat and to work on some more of the mobility, because that's really where we start opening up the hips into each position. So we'll see you in the next video. Keep practicing. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to hit subscribe, check out all the information underneath. There you can navigate to the Ways of Wudang Patreon account. And by becoming a Patreon, you can get access to all the main channel resources around martial arts, Taoist philosophy, even Chinese music, in group classes, live streams, one-on-one courses, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So I hope you'll go check that out, and I hope to see you there. Once more, thank you for all your support. We'll see you in the next video.